Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. So on the channel here, Dark Waters, just over 500,000 subscribers. The thumbnail to the video, which obviously isn't on the screen here, was a picture of Bill Gates and with the title "Famine is Coming." So obviously my video is called "Famine is Coming." So that's kind of why the thumbnail was a picture of Bill Gates and famine is coming. So, as many people might know, Bill Gates has been buying up a lot of farmland in America. Also, he's a man who can't be trusted, to be honest, if you look into it. His dad was the head of eugenics for America. He's not a self made man like people believe. Again, he's in the clique and he's in the Epstein files. He's one of the Satanists. This man, it really cannot be trusted, to be honest. Again, the whole sort of the computer angle is, well, everybody's on the internet and on computers, so he owns Windows and all this kind of crack, and Microsoft. So very much surveillance, you know what I mean? Like that they are got the hand very much in the computer fucking world there. So, yeah, he's a man who can't be trusted. He's very much part of the clique, and you've got to keep an eye on what these people are up to. Now, this sort of goes into in England as well as the Scotland, Wales, Ireland, well, the world over probably. But to my knowledge, I'm witnessing it happen in Britain, and I know it is happening in America, but I don't know about the rest of the world. But I would imagine it is exactly the same. I've never looked into it. But Bill Gates is buying up all the farmland in America, in England here, as I've mentioned a few times there, with the inheritance tax. Farmers are losing their farms when it comes to the inheritance tax and everything. It comes to the cost. Again, you're seeing the farmers in Ireland there protesting because they couldn't afford to live and they weren't making any money. Well, ultimately, when these farmers go bankrupt, they have to sell the farm, and these big wigs buy the farms, and the farmers are ultimately being crippled on purpose to go bankrupt so that these people can get out of the farms. Right. I mean, it's not rocket science at all, to be honest. It's real fucking simple. The big wigs, the elites, the fucking Satanists, the buying up all the farms and the farmland. Now, down the road, this is real fucking serious problems for us here, the peasants. Again, why the video is called Famine is Coming. So this is very much going on in England. You can watch it happen. You've heard about it, that they're taking the farmers off the farmers. You've seen it going on in Ireland, the farmers protesting there and blocking up the roads. And it is an actual fact that Bill Gates is buying up all the farmland of America. So you've got to connect a few dots yet again here. If you're not a zombie, it shouldn't be too fucking hard to do, you know what I mean? You're letting an elite Satanists, part of the fucking club here, buy up all the farmland in the world that we need to create food to eat and survive. It's a real serious problem we've got here, you know what I mean? So we'll have a lot of play of this, but yeah, that's kind of the summary of what's happening here, and it's happening because well, multiple reasons, to be honest. But the main one is depopulation, as I've mentioned. This is why we're going to have World War III. This is why the economy is collapsing, why we're going to have a civil war. We need rid of people, what COVID was about and the COVID vaccines. We are very much in a depopulation agenda. And starving people to death is one of the best things. Poverty and war, poverty, war, and starvation are the best three things to reduce the population. And that is very much the plan here for the Satanists. So, yeah, I mean, it's too late now. The world will not wake up in time. The ball is rolling. There is no turning back at this point. So all you can do is prepare. And again, maybe for down the line as well here, as these people buy up all the farmland. But starving you to death is very much part of the plan. I mean, I mentioned this before. If you do not think these people will starve you to death, then you're not playing the right game here. So we'll have a lot of listen to this. The video is actually called "This Video is Beyond Shocking." Nearly 500,000 subscribers on Dark Waters.
When you start to see people like Bill Gates gobble up farmland, and you read what his foundation says about farming, when they say that we're going to have a particular type of agriculture, they want large blocks run by the government or by private consortia where they say we're not going to have animal-based proteins, we're not going to have stockyards, we're not going to have turkey farms, we're not going to have chicken. The academic mind always has the answers, but never in the real world. And they do a lot of damage.
Everywhere you look, small and medium-sized farms being gobbled up by these corporate mega farms because they can't keep up anymore. They can't comply with these endless streams of regulations that are coming down. We're seeing that in China now, where these giant mechanized corporate big government-controlled mega farms are displacing all these little small family farms that families have been farming for hundreds of years, in some cases longer. They're moving them all off their little plots of land and moving them into these big, horrific mega cities that they have built. And we're going to see that all over the world with the decimation of small farms. So if they're not bankrupted by economic forces, the government itself will shut them down.
Does that sound real?
Yeah, moved into mega cities, 15-minute cities again. I've seen plans for England for the future, and a lot of England was given back to nature, so to speak. Again, sustainable development, Agenda 30. And then people moved to 15-minute cities. Again, the population is reduced due to war, economic strife, poverty, starvation, and in the aftermath. Essentially, London and Birmingham are the main two hubs, and that's why there's all this talk of a fast train line as well between the two main cities in England. And they will be the main two 15-minute cities, and there will be a train line between London and Birmingham. That's again what this whole super fast train line was all about, that they still haven't managed to fucking build. They were the plans I seen down the road of England in the future after the Agenda 30 sustainable development and sort of really took hold. I don't know how many years down the future that was predicting. But yeah, a lot of England is given back to nature. People are just literally removed from towns. Entire towns are taken and knocked down and given back, like the countryside is given back. Again, sustainable development. So another company worth mentioning that I've never mentioned before as well, to be honest, is Monsanto. Many people will know what I'm talking about. But one of the most, I think there's a documentary called Monsanto, one of the most evil companies in the world, or something like that. I'm not quite sure. It's something like, it's quite an old documentary. Yeah, but Monsanto has done a lot of damage around here as well. Anto, possibly Monsanto. There's plenty of documentaries on Monsanto and again what they've done to farming in the world, etc. So you're very much dealing with Satanists here. I mean, this is above all what you need to always remember here. That all these companies and all these governments and everybody, all these people are fucking Satanists, right? They don't like us, and they've got a big plan, right? And the big plan is well in effect at this point. And they're going to finish it. And when they do, we're all in a fucking massive pile of shit here, right up to our fucking necks, if we even manage to survive to fucking get there. So let's say a little bit more on that. Yeah, Bill Gates, it is a fact, buying up all the farmland. Nothing to do with farming, that man. He was the computer man, remember? And in the Epstein files there, Satanist, wanker, fucking paedophile. Yeah, you do not trust these people with your food.
Realistic in the straight get back to, I don't want to say normal because it's hard to imagine anything looks normal, but sort of what it was doing pre-war in terms of the number of ships that were going through it in 2 months?
Look, Tim, I think the world has changed with this crisis, just like Russia, Ukraine, and COVID before it. I think ships can flow back in. We've got about 1,200, 1,300 ships that need to go back. But the long-term structural effects of energy supplies, I think, has reconfigured.
Yeah. Another thing to note, again, we mentioned in the Bagwash News there, the amount of oil refineries going up on fire as well, with nothing to do with war. So all these dots connect eventually. This is the thing. The general public, the zombies there, they don't connect the dots, and you hear this bit of news in passing, and you hear that bit of news in passing, and they never connect all these bits of news together. But yeah, it's this again, petrol crisis, buying up all the farmland, economic problems. The UK's economy is now fucked. Will be the answer there from Richard. So yeah, you've got to connect the dots here, which I know that the majority of people listening to this do and have and know. You know what I mean? You're up to speed enough at this point here to fully notice we're in the bagwash. To be honest, again, you've got to be real fucking stupid at this point to not notice we're in the bagwash. I mean, I've been making the bagwash news for an hour and a half there for about 3 weeks, maybe more. But yeah, you've got to be real fucking stupid to not know that the times aren't good out here. We've got war, we've got economy problems, we've got fucking food problems, we've got fucking migrant problems, we've got rape problems, we've got fucking problems the likes of which you've never seen, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, we've maybe got civil war problems as well. I mean, the list keeps escalating here of our problems, to be honest. It's one of the biggest fucking lists of all time. So, yeah, we're really in the shit in many ways. But, again, we're also, again, if we go down the Satan's little seasoned path, then it's just the way of things here. It's the end of the game. The game will be completed. I've mentioned this before. Stay fast, stay strong, and just wait it out is all you can really do. Wait it out. But you might come a cropper like when the Muslims take over, because if you don't follow the Muslim faith, then they won't be too happy about that, it would seem. So, just to stay out of the way of the fucking Muslims here. They'll come to a town near you and ruin it. It's almost guaranteed, to be honest. Let's hear a bit more of this.
What's up, late night crew? The one and only James Williams, Dark Waters, and I'm back. Hopefully y'all doing all right. Y'all doing good. We need to discuss something that's playing out in front of everyone's face. While everybody's distracted with the Iranian war, which I'm gonna keep my powder dry on that for now. There's something else that's coming down the pipeline that I don't think people are seeing. And I want you to be aware of it, and I want you to be prepared for it. I'll touch on this. From the time I started talking about politics, I said that the Trump administration was a reprieve for this nation. It was the Lord giving us a reprieve. And intercessions have been made for this nation to have a reprieve, and there was a lot that was hanging on what was done by the Trump administration. Unfortunately, at this point in time, we see where strife and in confusion has taken hold of this nation in a manner in which we haven't seen before.
I mean, I don't know if he's going to go on to say Trump's a wanker now, because you should have figured that out, pal. But yeah, like you're talking about confusion and the nation, and this guy's American, you know what I mean? And we're very much in a similar situation here, I would suggest. Again, that the I don't think it's ever been this bad, to be honest. Or like I can't remember it ever being this bad in Britain. Yeah, and the whole fucking the left, the right, the protests all the time, the economy, the war, the fucking you know what I mean? All the problems. Like it's unreal, to be honest. So yeah, he was on about there a reprieve from Trump, but no. Trump's fucking massively part of this game. He's just played yous all well. Like he honestly played yous all well up until this year. He played yous all fucking brilliantly, to be honest. I was always on the fence. I didn't know whether to trust Donald Trump, and I always sided with don't, because ultimately he's a rich man and part of the elite here. But he talked a good game there for a good fucking years. He done a first term. It's fucking a good 10 years. He's talked a good game. Like he's played the long game. It's like Nigel Farage here. He's absolutely played. Farage has played double the amount of time Trump has. To be fair, he played the long game, and he absolutely pulled the wool over everybody's eyes, even to an extent me for a while. But this year's really, and I suppose last year as well, the whole getting shot in the ear. I mean, that was suspicious. Um, yeah, he played it well right to the end there, but unfortunately, when you're gonna make the omelette yet again, you got to break the eggs. So it's like Farage; he has to turn eventually because he's not on our team. So these people have to turn eventually because ultimately they do not serve the people. And when they turn, there's the key signs that were never on our team in the first place. You know what I mean? They've just played the long game here, and it's very easy to lie. You know what I mean? It's like yesterday in the Houses of Parliament there. Two MPs actually got kicked out for calling Keir Starmer a liar. There was a male MP as well. I made a video on the female one. The Muslim Zara Sultana made the video yesterday. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but if you watch the first guy get kicked out, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The Speaker of the House, the guy who's in the Fabian Society with Keir Starmer, he says that's not a word. He calls him a liar, and he says that's not a word we use in this house. Right. Now, that's very suspicious to me. Like, both of them have been kicked out for calling the Prime Minister, who's running the country, a liar when he is a liar. And apparently, you're not allowed to do that. So, this is why the entire country's fucked. Because the person in charge can do whatever they want, lie out of their ass about everything, and nobody is allowed to call them on it. Right? Nobody is allowed to call the person who runs the country on lying here. And the minute you do, you're thrown out. So that shows a lot to me. Honestly, that absolutely shows that you've got no democracy whatsoever. It shows that it's an absolute shit show, railroad fucking. I can't think of the word. But it's a fugazi. It's an absolute fugazi here. It's a house that's built around protecting the fact that we have no democracy. It is a bullshit shit show, and we're being railroaded by whoever fucking currently runs the country for the global elite. And if anybody lower down has the fucking audacity to call the man a fucking liar when he is, I'm sorry you're removed from the house. Well, honestly, this is all wrong. This is all fucking wrong here. This is not democracy. This is not the truth. So, again, the British people should see that and realise they won't, because they're all fucking stupid, to be honest, but you should see that and realise what we're up against here. The fact that you cannot call the person who's running the country a liar when he's lying, and you get kicked out for it, protecting ultimately protecting the person in charge, no matter what he does, because ultimately what he does will never be for us. I mean, it's an absolute shit show, to be honest, but I think the proof's very much in the pudding of the fact that you're not allowed to call somebody a liar when they're lying, irrespective of what position they hold and where you are. You're not allowed to do that, and two people were kicked out for doing it yesterday, which to me, honestly, it's I'm fucking raging about it, to be honest. Yeah, but it ultimately proves that you're not in a democracy, that you cannot call the Prime Minister for doing a bad job. And ultimately he isn't going to resign. That was a load of bullshit we all heard. Oh, I didn't know about Mandelson. Well, you lying bastard. You're an absolute lying bastard, like you really are. I mean, if I was in the Houses of Parliament, I'd have called him a lying bastard. I'd put the B word in there as well, for effect. At least these politicians held it back slightly. But yeah, it's time to resign. Look at down here, time to resign. It very much was time to resign yesterday, and he's wormed his way fucking out of it again, helped by the Speaker of the House, who is also in the Fabian Society. Absolute shit show, to be honest. I mean, you're absolutely being railroaded, and it's going to end in a war. It's going to end in people's kids going to fucking war. It's going to end in starvation, economic collapse, famine. Unbelievable bagwash, to be honest. It's where it's going to end, and getting rid of Keir Starmer won't necessarily stop it, but it would put the brakes on slightly. That maybe the British public are waking up to what the fuck's happening to them here, but who knows if they are? This is what I mean. Again, everyone's too much. Everyone's fighting the wrong battle here. The migrants, the migrants have been brought here to fucking keep you busy while these fuckers do all this shit to us. Do you know what I mean? So I'll play a bit more here, yeah. But I mean, famine. This is about famine as well, not about fucking Keir Starmer, the lying wanker. This is about famine coming down the road here.
And we're at a point now where we know that God is not the author of confusion. So when you start to see high levels of confusion, you know that there's another entity that's sitting in the throne, and it's doing its damnedest, it's doing its best to destroy this nation. I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to say this. May 17th, again, is a very, very important pivotal point. It should be a day of repentance, and we will know the direction that this nation is going on May 17th.
I'll tell you now, mate, you're going to get blown up in summer during the World Cup, and it's going to ultimately start the Third World War, and it's the end of America, it's the end of democracy, it's the end of liberty. That's the direction that you're going. So, again, like all these people, again, I mentioned like in the Rapture video yesterday, all these people that claim to follow God and Christ, and Christ speaks to them, and the Holy Spirit speak to them, and all that. But none of them have a fucking clue what's going on. You know what I mean? But none of you have a clue what's going on here. I think you may be all insane, and like, not this guy. He's not claiming fucking that the Holy Spirit spoke to him here, but you may be all mentally ill, and like you're hearing voices or something. I don't know, but none of you have a fucking clue what's happening. Because I'm telling you now, we're in Satan's little season. That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. We're in Satan's little season. Jesus isn't coming back. All these signs are being faked. We're in Satan's little season. I'm telling you, honestly, I'll bet my soul on it. So yeah, I mean that's what's going to happen to America. But what we're thinking here, it's all playing out that way very much. So for me, Donald Trump gobbing off that America will never be defeated here. It's all like ramping up for America to be defeated again. Apparently, he take his lies about winning the war on day 3 there as an example. America the brave, America the great, and yeah, then America's done for. So yeah, that's where we think we're going. We do, unfortunately. You might want to get the fuck out of America, to be honest. Or tool up, because there's a hard times are coming. And he also said it there before that God is not the author of confusion, so someone else is on the throne. Yeah, it's Satan's little season. Satan is on the throne. This is all allowed to happen by God. This is in the Bible. Satan will get his season. So God very much is in control, but we're playing the game here. We're playing the game out. That this part of the game is not where the good entities rock up here. It's not this show. Do you know what I mean? This is why I've struggled very much to believe that the Holy Spirit and Jesus, etc., are speaking to people, because from what we know of the sort of Satan's little season here, the signs and wonders and everything have kind of been gotten rid of for now, and Jesus, etc., and the saints, etc., are all went away, knowing fine well this time was coming, and they went north, and they've all gone, and to wait this time out. So all these people who tell you, the fucking people that they're getting divine messages and they know when the rapture is and all this, you know what I mean? They're all full of shit, to be honest. They're all full of shit. And the rapture's already happened, so you fucking missed it by, like, honestly, 1,500 years. You fucking missed it by about 1,500 years there.
It's just all war this, war that, bada bing, bada boom, yeah, confusion. I will know, and you will know on the 17th of May which direction this nation is going.
I've told you now, mate, on the 21st of April, and I could have told you in December there, to be honest. So I could have given you a 7 months heads up. I'll give you a 3, but you probably will never get to hear this. So you'll remain in the dark, like your channel here, Dark Waters. So you'll remain in the dark, sir.
There will be no doubt by what the manifestation is that day. And on that day, I will tell you where I stand on everything else as it pertains to that. Now, as it pertains to the coming famine, that's clearly lining up based upon the actions that's going on with the Iranian war. We need to be prepared for this. As a nation, as a people, and as a body of Christ, we need to be prepared for it. Now, it's been prophesied that this famine was coming for quite a while by many people who are real prophets of the Lord. Like a lot of them, like a whole lot of them have been talking.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be a prophet here. This is the thing, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a prophet. No, God has not spoken to me. Jesus has not spoken to me. The Holy Spirit has not spoken to me. I mean, you maybe get pushed in the right direction in some way, shape, or form, and things are. The only way I could explain it is like videos come forth. Like yesterday, I watched that video on Israel, and then an Israel dude was smashing the shit out of Jesus, and the two connected, and by some sort of fate, I'd watched this video before that explained how that had happened. So that's the only way I see any sort of, if any, divine help, is sometimes you're pointed in the right direction unbeknowingly, and I click on videos for no reason, but they end up meaning something quite important, if you know what I mean. And that's the only thing I see. Like, I don't get no messages here, you know what I mean? Like, I just somehow find my way to videos and people who can explain things to me, and then I can pass them on to you, sort of thing. So in terms of like a divine entity and a divine help, if we're getting any, or you know what I mean. But that's all I can really feel and see is a bit of a guidance, um, and not even that as such. It sometimes feels like coincidence. It can never be, because it happens far too many times that you get pushed in the right direction of this knowledge, so to speak. But yeah, it just feels like that's the help that you get. You get kind of pushed in the right direction. But could that, I mean, look at all these people that we're talking about here that don't know. Ultimately, we're in Satan's little season. Honestly, that is the truth. And these people are lost in the timeline of the Bible, and that they think we're 1,500 years ago when we're not. And ultimately, because the bad part of Satan's little season for this world is it's the end of this world. This world will end in the not too distant future. Forever, this world will be gone. Everything will be gone, and a new earth and a new heaven will be born by the Lord here, the God who is capable of doing such things. Obviously, this is not something we can do. That's the tale, and again, for me, that's what we're playing out here, and this is the level of the deception to keep everybody from ultimately knowing you were in Satan's little season, for me anyway. Again, the time will tell on all this. That's the beauty of this game. Time will tell. So, yeah, the coming famine. Again, you don't need to be a prophet, to be honest. You got to connect the dots here, the economic dots, the war dots, the people buying up the farmland dots, the farmers' inheritance tax and losing the farm dots. Connect all these dots together. The overpopulation dot, the New World Order dot, etc. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dots there, to be honest. But when you don't even need half of them, really, to really understand that these people are probably going to fucking attempt to starve us to death in the near future. I mean, I mentioned this. I didn't want to be quite so forward about it and say these people are going to starve us to death. I always put it in the terms of, if you don't think these people will starve us to death. But the reality is these people are probably going to try and starve us to death. And kill us in many other ways as well, from vaccines to wars to fucking starvation to poverty. You name it. There's too many people on the planet, and they want fucking rid of them. And you're dealing with Satan and Satan's little season and Satan's minions, and death and murder and killing off the Christians is right up there, you know what I mean? Look around the world at the amount of Christians and stuff being murdered and slaughtered by the Muslims here. Again, the Muslim religion, the one world religion, very much satanic. It's going to be the part of that Satan's little season religion here. So all you people following Islam, I'd give that second thoughts, to be honest. Again, are you any of you Islamists out there aware that we're in Satan's little season here? You know, is that part of your Quran there? Yeah, and I mean, going around murdering people and stabbing people, etc. I mean, the one true God who is going to create the new heaven and earth here, he's all against that. He is all against that. Muslims, I don't know if you're aware of that. You'll be going in the lake of fire. So yeah, again, you don't need to be a prophet though to fucking see we're in the bagwash, in my opinion.
Talking about this worldwide famine that has been released from the realm of the spirit, and we're going to go into the news that pertains to this, and then we'll go into from a spiritual perspective why famines come, God's promises when you're dealing with a famine, and why it's very important to be rooted in the Lord. More important to be rooted in the Lord than in any other thing of this world. So here's what's being said in the UK at this point in time.
Yeah, he's bang on there again. Atheists or non-believe, you'll struggle to believe it. I know. But we truly are in Satan's little season. This is the end of the game. There is a God, and if you want to play again, you need to get on the right page. He's kind of what's happening here.
I mean, I think it's important that you hear this and make sure the volume's up loud. Here we go.
This emergency planning, which is beginning to emerge now, they haven't wanted to talk about it much, but it's inevitable. It is coming, isn't it?
Well, it is the kind of thing that you would expect in a situation like this when things are so very uncertain in the Middle East and nobody really knows what is going to happen next. To be clear, the message from the government is still that everything should carry on as normal, but behind the scenes, as you'd expect, they have been effectively wargaming some of the what-ifs. And this report in the Times newspaper this morning says officials from Number 10 from the...
I love it as well how they're always, oh, nobody knows what's going to happen, and the what-ifs. We know fine well what's going to happen. This is all a plan. You know what I mean? We absolutely know fine well what's going to happen here. So, yet again, I mean, don't get me wrong, the mainstream media can't come out and they've got to play the game here, obviously. Oh, we're up in the area. We don't know what's going to happen. Well, we fucking do, because these fucking wankers wrote it all down in fucking documents, the United Nations, Agenda 30 here, the Economic Forum. Yeah, these people wrote it all down. We do know what's going to happen. We really do. It's going to get generally worse. That's what's going to happen.
Treasury from the Ministry of Defence have been looking at what's called a reasonable worst-case scenario, that we get to June, the Strait of Hormuz is still closed and there is no peace deal. And they have concluded that if that happens, and again, this is not a prediction, it could mean a shortage of carbon dioxide, which is critical in various industries. So we could see effects such as a shortage of chicken and pork, with less variety of packaged goods like salads at supermarkets. Difficulty in making fizzy drinks means breweries could be affected, and healthcare could be hit because of a lack of dry ice to cool medical supplies such as vaccines and blood. Now, Downing Street have said we took decisive action last month to shore up the UK's critical supplies of carbon dioxide by temporarily restarting the bioethanol plant in Teesside, continuing to work closely with business groups. And they point out that reasonable worst-case scenarios are a planning tool used by experts and are not a prediction of future events. But carbon dioxide isn't the only shortage that is being...
Yeah, I mean, no, they're not a prediction of future events, but all the other documents that these people wrote it down in are. Plus, just fucking use your brain here, for fuck's sake. I mean, if you haven't figured out we're in the shit here, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, to be honest. I really don't. So, the video's long enough, to be honest. Again, this is, I mean, I would come and watch the video, Dark Waters. Again, I don't think he's up to speed, really, on where we are, you know what I mean? He doesn't really know. He doesn't know the ins and outs here like we do. He hasn't figured out we're in Satan's little season. He hasn't figured out that America's going to be destroyed here. He hasn't figured out a lot, to be honest. But, still on the right path, very much so. Again, this whole Satan's little season thing, I mean, new to me, you know what I mean? I've only been on that myself, well, maybe the six months or something, probably less, to be honest. Yeah, but it's a new thing as well in terms of something we've figured out. Like the people, maybe 4 or 5 years, people have been figuring this out, so to speak, and the information's been building. You go and back and watch the videos. So it's fairly a new thing, but doesn't mean it isn't true. It's just mean it's took us all this time to for somebody. Again, I can't take the credit for figuring this out. I mean, the woman on the channel leaving Babylon there and figuring out the date line, and there's time missing, and the Terra de Leso, and that there's a bit of the map missing. I mean, absolutely genius. You know what I mean? Like that I can't take any credit for figuring any of this out. I'm following the information here. You've got to give the credit where it's due to channels like Jason Jack and Understanding Conspiracy and all these channels, but it's really where you need to go. Again, I brought forward some of the tales of the hieroglyphs or whatever. That's all just been like swept under the rug. You know what I mean? Some of it has never even been translated to English. So yeah, to me, it's the answers are all there. The minute you can step through the door into the sort of Satan's little season area, you're going to get all the answers as well. Like, not just the answers of World War Three and the economy and the farmland and the famine, but you're going to get all the answers as to why the world's the way it is and why. I mean, it's the answers. Honestly, I haven't looked at this for 18 years. As many people do. It answers everything. Honestly, if I mean, you need all the previous knowledge as well, I suppose, to kind of get the full picture. You know what I mean? Like, know about the economy and the world government and the Satanists and the Epstein and the paedophiles, and you know what I mean? You kind of need to know it all to kind of put it all together correctly in the end, in the Satan's little season sort of thing. But for me, that very much is the answer to it all. You know what I mean? I mean, ultimately, comes summer there, if America is destroyed, or this year, if America is destroyed and attacked, and we end up in a real World War Three, then the proof's in the pudding. I kind of predicted that with fucking a year in advance as well, sort of thing. And it's so, yeah, but everything's playing out exactly as we imagine it to be honest. Again, that there is no peace, this constant back and forth, there's no petrol, it's all going to break down, it's going to lead to shortages, it's going to lead to bagwash, and again, all this talk of civil unrest in England, again, they're not telling you that for nothing. It's pretty much guaranteed that there's going to be civil unrest in England because they've told you that many times. It's preemptive programming here. It's getting you ready for what is coming. They constantly are. I mean, that's what this is. Fears over food shortages. This is on the mainstream news. Do you know what I mean? So they're very much getting the people ready for the bagwash on the mainstream media. You got to remember, all this is pitched at the zombies here. The zombies. It's all about what the zombies think. And whatever the zombies think and do the fucking complete opposite is the general rule here. Look at COVID, when they were all queuing up for the vaccines. Do not get in that queue, is the general rule. When they go for the digital IDs, don't get in the queue. So, should I play a bit more? Oh, fuck it, I'll play a bit more.
Being looked at. ITV News learned this week that ministers believe a shortage of diesel and jet fuel could be just 2 or 3 weeks away. The fact that ships still aren't able to move in the area is already having an effect on prices here. The UK economy is now forecast to be hardest hit by the war than any other advanced country.
And what she's talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is fertilizer. She's calling it carbon dioxide. It's fertilizer, bro. It's fertilizer. They because they got this Green New Deal crap, they just won't tell you the truth. What they're talking about is a shortage of fertilizer.
Well, it's both. The carbon dioxide, again, it's like in the pubs that pumps the beer through the pumps, the gas. So they do actually mean both, to be honest. Again, he's twisting her words when she does actually mean carbon dioxide, because she mentioned pubs and everything there. So, but there is a fertilizer issue as well. Again, Russia's stopped fucking mecking stuff and that, and fucking oil refineries are going up left, right, and centre here, and you name it. Yeah, the bagwash is definitely coming down on us. So that's another thing. I've bought a bag of fertilizer there. I might get another, and some topsoil as well. And I haven't got a garden, see. So, but anybody with a garden, I would really consider digging your garden up, to be honest, and planting stuff in your garden, because there could be ultimate bagwash coming down the road here. This is why I'm telling you to stock up on food. But the crack is this war lasts like 3 years. You know what I mean? 3 years. So again, think how long World War II lasted. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's supposed to last 3 years. This war, well, 3.5, but we've kind of done half, if you know what I mean. So I would, well, again, if we start in summer, 3.5 would take us to 2030. To be fair, so that would kind of be perfect. So you maybe don't count these months as the actual war, 3.5 from the summer, maybe. So honestly, like again, the warnings are out there with the food. Like again, there'll be nothing worse than going short and starving to death. To be honest, so I really would, if you've got a garden, dig up your garden, buy fertilizer from the shop there in them bags. If you haven't, or if you want to grow stuff in on your windows or something like that, and maybe even get a bag or two for next year, because the way this is going, there might not be any next year. So, and then we're in the shit because there'll be no food, you know what I mean? No, and the farmers, back to the farmers, like, trust me, there could be absolute, like, ultimate bagwash on the horizon here, ultimate bagwash. And no one can kind of see it coming, you know what I mean? And by the time that the storm hits here, everybody's in the shit. And everything's gone as well. There's panic in the supermarkets. Again, this is why we're saying act now, you know what I mean? And again, while the weather as well, if you're going to plant things, I suppose you have to get it in now and for it to grow in time for later on in the year. And get you through the winter as well. So we don't know what's going to happen here, and we could have power blackouts again in winter. No heat. It gets quite cold here. You really do have to plan for the bagwash here. This is kind of why I made the bagwash news as well, giving you a bit of an inkling here that the bagwash is escalating upon us here, and it's going somewhere. It's absolutely going somewhere. Right, I'm going to leave it there. The video's long enough. If you want to watch the video, come and watch the video on Dark Waters, the channel. I'll leave it there. Peace.